Let me take you back to a moment unlike any other, a moment when time seemed to dissolve, and the boundary between this world and eternity grew so thin that I could almost taste the air of heaven. In that instant, I left my body behind and found myself standing in the presence of the King of Glory. When you come face to face with him, nothing remains the same. There was no fear, only an indescribable love so intense and pure it felt as if my entire being was immersed in living fire. His gaze met mine, and in that look, every mask I'd ever worn, every attempt to hide, every shallow prayer was laid bare. He saw me, truly saw me, in a way I had never experienced before. He spoke, but not with ordinary words. His truth bypassed my ears and flesh, reaching straight into the core of who I am. Beloved, I want to show you something about the gift I have given, the gift of tongues. I thought I understood what it meant to speak in tongues. For years I had prayed in the Spirit, felt the gentle flow of a language not my own, experienced the joy of a heart overflowing beyond the limits of human speech. But in that sacred encounter, the veil was lifted, and everything I thought I knew was transformed. What was revealed was not just a practice or a ritual, but a living, breathing connection, a divine language that bridges earth and heaven, spirit and spirit. It was as if I had only glimpsed a shadow before, and now I stood in the light of the real. The gift was not just for comfort or expression, but for communion, for power, for the unfolding of mysteries too deep for words. In that place, I realized that speaking in tongues is not just a gift, it is an invitation to step into the very heart of God. With every passing season, the reality of this gift only deepens. I find that even in the most routine moments, washing dishes, walking down a crowded street, sitting quietly before the day begins, the Spirit's language is present, ready to rise. It's no longer something I set aside for special occasions or spiritual highs. Instead, it has become the undercurrent of my life, a continual invitation to step into God's presence, no matter where I am or what I face. There is a gentle assurance that comes with this surrender. I know now that I don't have to carry every burden alone or have all the answers. When confusion clouds my mind or fear tries to settle in, I let the Spirit pray through me. Sometimes the words are soft, barely audible. Other times they come with force and urgency. But always there is a sense of release, a letting go of what I cannot control, and a trust that heaven is moving on my behalf. I have learned to cherish the quiet miracles that unfold as a result. Relationships restored, peace in the midst of chaos, guidance when the path ahead is unclear. These moments are reminders that the language of the Spirit is not just for personal edification, but for transformation, mine and those around me. It is a river that flows outward, touching lives, shifting atmospheres, and drawing hearts closer to the source of all love. So I continue day by day, letting this gift shape my prayers, my perspective, and my purpose. I walk in the confidence that I am never alone, that the Spirit's voice is always near, and that every surrendered moment is an opportunity for heaven to break through on earth. Even now, as I reflect on this journey, I am continually surprised by how the Spirit weaves the extraordinary into the fabric of my everyday life. There are moments when I sense a gentle nudge, a quiet urging to pause and let the language of heaven flow, sometimes in the middle of a busy day, sometimes in the stillness of night. Each time I am reminded that this gift is not limited by circumstance or setting. It is as present in the mundane as it is in the miraculous. I have come to cherish these interruptions, these invitations to step aside from my own striving and simply yield to the Spirit's leading. In those moments, I feel the nearness of God in ways words can barely describe, a peace that settles deep within, a hope that rises even when circumstances remain unchanged. The more I surrender, the more I see the evidence of God's hand at work, doors opening where there seemed to be none, burdens lifting, hearts softening, and wisdom coming just when it's needed most. This ongoing communion has become a source of courage and resilience. I am no longer intimidated by uncertainty or overwhelmed by the unknown. Instead, I lean into the mystery, trusting that the Spirit's intercession is accomplishing far more than I could ever imagine. And as I continue to walk this path, I find myself longing not just for personal breakthrough, but for others to encounter this same depth of intimacy and transformation. So I keep going, letting the gift of tongues shape my days, my prayers, and my heart. I know that every time I yield, I am participating in something far greater than myself, a movement of God's Spirit that is alive, active, and available to all who will simply say yes. As I continue on this journey, I am reminded that the gift of tongues is not a destination, but a lifelong walk, a continual invitation to step deeper into God's presence and power. It is a sacred rhythm, a divine heartbeat that pulses through the lives of those who dare to trust beyond what they see and understand. Each time I yield, I am drawn closer to the heart of God, and I discover new depths of grace, healing, and strength. This gift has reshaped my understanding of prayer, transforming it from a task into a living conversation with the Spirit. It has taught me that when words fail, the Spirit speaks, carrying my heart's deepest longings directly to God. And in that sacred exchange, I find renewal not just for myself, but for the world around me. I want you to know that this gift is not reserved for a select few. It is available to all who hunger for more, who are willing to surrender control and listen for the whisper of heaven. It is a doorway into intimacy, power, and transformation, a language of the Spirit that invites us to join in the eternal song of worship and intercession. So if you feel the stirring of this gift within you, do not hesitate. Step into the mystery. Yield to the Spirit's leading. Because once you begin to pray in this heavenly language, your life will never be the same. You will find yourself walking in a new dimension of faith, hope, and love carried on the breath of heaven itself. There are days when the world's demands threaten to drown out that quiet invitation, yet I have learned to pause and listen for the Spirit's gentle prompting. No matter how busy or burdened I become, the language of heaven remains accessible, always ready to rise, always ready to bring clarity and peace. It's in these moments of surrender, when I lay aside my own efforts and simply yield, that I am most aware of God's nearness and care. This ongoing relationship with the Spirit has become my anchor. When challenges arise or uncertainty clouds my path, I no longer rely solely on my own understanding. Instead, I trust the Spirit to intercede, to pray through me in ways I cannot comprehend. Each utterance, each whispered prayer in tongues, draws me deeper into trust and dependence, reminding me that I am never left to navigate life alone. I have witnessed how this gift not only transforms my own heart, but also impacts those around me. Sometimes a simple act of praying in the Spirit brings comfort to a friend, encouragement to a stranger, or unity in a gathering of believers. The language of heaven bridges gaps, breaks barriers, and invites others into the same intimacy I have found. So I press on, knowing that this journey is far from over. The gift of tongues continues to shape me, to lead me, and to reveal new facets of God's love and power. With every surrendered moment, I am reminded that I am part of something eternal, a story of grace unfolding, a melody of the Spirit that never ceases. With each new day, I find that the journey into the depths of the Spirit is one of continual discovery. The more I yield, the more I realize how limitless this gift truly is. It's not bound by circumstance or emotion. It's not dependent on my strength or understanding. Instead, it is a steady current of grace, always available, always flowing, inviting me to step beyond the boundaries of what I thought possible. There are moments when I sense the Spirit leading me to pray for things I cannot see, for people I have never met, or for situations far beyond my reach. In those times, I trust that the language of heaven is accomplishing what my mind cannot grasp. I have come to cherish the mystery, knowing that God is at work in ways far greater than I could ever orchestrate. This gift has also awakened a deeper compassion within me, a longing to see others set free, healed, and restored. I find myself interceding not just for my own needs, but for the burdens of others, trusting that the Spirit's prayers are perfect and powerful. It is a privilege to partner with heaven, to be part of God's redemptive work in the world. So I continue, heart open, spirit willing, ready to follow wherever the Spirit leads. Each surrendered moment is an invitation to experience more of God's presence and to witness the unfolding of His purposes in and through my life. And as I walk this path, I am filled with gratitude for the gift that keeps drawing me deeper into the mystery and majesty of God's love. There are times when I look back and realize how much I have changed since that first encounter. The gift of tongues has become more than a spiritual discipline. It is a living thread woven through every aspect of my life. Whether I am facing moments of joy or seasons of difficulty, I have learned to lean into the Spirit's language, trusting that every utterance is a partnership with heaven, a prayer that reaches beyond my limitations. In gatherings with others, I have witnessed how this gift draws hearts together, creating unity and a sense of shared purpose that words alone cannot achieve. There is a quiet power in letting the Spirit take the lead, in allowing the language of heaven to rise above our differences and unite us in worship and intercession. I have seen burdens lifted, hope restored, and faith ignited as we yield together to the Spirit's flow. Even in solitude, the presence of God feels closer than ever. I no longer strive for understanding or try to control the outcome of my prayers. Instead, I rest in the assurance that the Spirit knows what I need before I even ask, and that every syllable spoken in faith is heard and answered by a loving Father. This has brought a deep peace, a confidence that I am held, guided, and never alone. So I journey on, grateful for the mystery and the gift. Each day I am reminded that the language of the Spirit is not just for moments of crisis or celebration, but for the quiet, ordinary days as well. It is a constant invitation to draw near, to listen, and to let God's presence shape every part of who I am and who I am becoming. As the seasons shift and life unfolds in unexpected ways, I find myself returning again and again to the simplicity of surrender. The gift of tongues, once a mystery I cautiously approached, has become the quiet strength that undergirds my days. It is there in the early morning when the world is still, and in the late hours when worries threaten to crowd my mind. Each time I yield to the Spirit's prompting, I am reminded that I am not navigating this journey alone. This ongoing communion has changed the way I see the world around me. I am more aware of the needs of others, more sensitive to the gentle nudges that call me to pray, to encourage, to reach out. The language of the Spirit has opened my heart to compassion, teaching me to trust that even when I do not have the words, God's Spirit is interceding through me, bridging the gap between heaven and earth. In moments of uncertainty, I no longer fear the unknown. I have learned that the Spirit's prayers are always timely, always perfect, accomplishing things far beyond my understanding. This trust has brought a quiet confidence, a peace that anchors me no matter what storms may come. So I continue, step by step, letting the language of heaven shape my journey. I know that every surrendered moment is an opportunity for God's presence to break through, for His love to be made real in my life and in the lives of those around me. And as I walk this path, I remain ever grateful for the gift that draws me deeper into the heart of God, inviting me to live each day with wonder, expectancy, and unwavering faith. As I reflect on this ongoing journey, I am reminded that the gift of tongues is not a destination but a lifelong invitation, a sacred dance with the Spirit that unfolds moment by moment. It calls me to continual surrender, to laying down my own understanding and stepping into the mystery of God's presence. Each time I yield, I am drawn deeper into a relationship that is both intimate and powerful, a connection that transcends words and reaches into the very core of my being. This gift has reshaped not only how I pray, but how I live. It has taught me to listen more intently, to trust more fully, and to love more deeply. Through the language of the Spirit, I have discovered a wellspring of hope and strength that carries me through seasons of joy and seasons of trial alike. It is a reminder that I am never alone, never forgotten, and always held in the hands of a loving Father. I want you to know that this gift is available to all who seek it with open hearts. It is not reserved for the few, but is a divine invitation to every believer longing for deeper intimacy with God. As you open yourself to this mystery, may you experience the same transformation, the same awakening to the power, presence, and peace that flows from the very heart of heaven. So I continue to walk this path, grateful for the gift that has forever changed me. With every utterance, every surrendered moment, I step further into the light of God's love, trusting that this journey will lead me and you into a deeper, richer experience of His grace and glory. Even now, as I look toward the days ahead, I sense that this journey is far from over. Each new experience, each quiet moment in the presence of God reveals another layer of the Spirit's work in my life. The gift of tongues continues to be a wellspring, sometimes gentle, sometimes powerful, always inviting me to trust more deeply and surrender more fully. There are times when uncertainty lingers or challenges arise, but I have learned to let the language of the Spirit rise up within me, carrying prayers I cannot always articulate. In those moments, I feel the nearness of God, a reassurance that I am never left to walk alone. The Spirit's intercession becomes my anchor, steadying me when doubts try to shake my faith. As I move forward, I find myself longing to see others awaken to this same reality. I pray that hearts everywhere would open to the mystery and beauty of the Spirit's language, that more would discover the freedom, comfort, and power that comes from yielding to God in this way. It is not about striving or proving, but about receiving and resting in the love that never fails. So I press on, grateful for every step, every revelation, every moment of communion. The gift remains a constant invitation to draw near, to listen, to let heaven's breath fill my life. And as I continue, I do so with hope and expectancy, knowing that the Spirit is always leading, always interceding, always drawing me and all who will receive closer to the heart of God. Like, comment, and subscribe.